Have you ever felt trapped in a cycle of self-sabotage, where no matter how many times you promise to change, the same old habits keep dragging you down? It's not because you lack strength or willpower. It's because the way we view change is fundamentally flawed. Our society glorifies willpower as the magic key to breaking bad habits, yet research shows willpower is a depleting resource, a battery that drains with each decision we make. In reality, what if the secret isn't to fight harder against your impulses, but to transform the very architecture of your habits? Consider this: every habit you have follows a loop. A cue triggers a craving, leading you to a response that brings a reward, and that cycle reinforces itself. Imagine you feel stressed and automatically reach for comfort food. The relief you get is brief, and soon your brain craves that same short-term satisfaction again and again. But here's the uncomfortable truth: this loop isn't a matter of weak willpower. Instead, it is a product of your self-identity. If you see yourself as someone who lacks discipline, your mind will always steer you back into those familiar destructive patterns. Today, we embark on a journey to dismantle that self-imposed identity by understanding that breaking bad habits is less about battling your impulses and more about rewiring your brain to adopt a new, empowering narrative. You can finally break free. In this session, we'll explore how your habits are formed, why traditional willpower fails, and most importantly, what you can do to reframe your identity so good habits become natural. It all begins with the realization that the power to change lies not in brute force, but in a gentle, persistent re-education of your mind. The common belief that willpower is the main tool to overcome bad habits is a myth. Willpower, as studies reveal, is like a muscle that tires with overuse. It's not an unlimited resource. Every time you resist the temptation, you deplete a little bit of that energy, making it harder to resist the next impulse. This is why many of us find ourselves succumbing to our habits late in the day when our mental resources are exhausted. But here's the real breakthrough. Rather than trying to stretch your willpower to its breaking point, the true secret lies in altering your identity. When you start seeing yourself as a person who naturally makes positive choices, when you internalize a new self-image, the need to constantly exert willpower diminishes. Your brain begins to operate on autopilot in favor of healthier behaviors. Think about it. If you repeatedly label yourself as not a smoker, eventually your identity shifts and the habit loses its hold. The science behind this is fascinating. Neuroscience tells us that habits form through repeated actions that create neural pathways. Over time, these pathways become stronger and the behavior becomes automatic. But if you can redirect those pathways by consistently making small, conscious choices to do otherwise, you can rewire your brain. Instead of fighting your impulses with raw willpower, you create a new system, a supportive environment, and a refreshed identity that naturally aligns with your goals. In this segment, we dive into the research that debunks the myth of willpower and reveals why a shift in identity and environment is far more effective. It's time to stop blaming your lack of willpower and start focusing on what truly drives your behavior from the inside out. Every habit, whether good or bad, is built on a simple yet powerful loop: cue, craving, response, and reward. This loop is the blueprint of behavior ingrained in your brain, forming patterns that dictate your daily life. For example, consider the habit of stress eating. When you feel overwhelmed, the cue, your brain craves a sense of comfort, a craving, leading you to grab a sugary snack, the response, which gives you a fleeting sense of relief, the reward. This cycle, repeated day after day, solidifies into an automatic pattern that becomes nearly impossible to break by sheer willpower alone. To truly disrupt this loop, you must understand its mechanics. The key is to target one or more parts of the cycle, rather than simply trying to suppress the response. Replace it with a healthier behavior that delivers a similar reward. This might mean taking a short walk or practicing deep breathing when you feel stressed rather than reaching for junk food. By identifying and modifying the cues and rewards, You can gradually reshape your responses and weaken the old habit loop. Additionally, the way you frame these changes is crucial. If you continue to view yourself as someone who struggles with self-control, your brain will fight any attempts at change. Instead, embrace a new mindset that recognizes your capacity for growth and self-discipline. In this segment, we break down the habit loop into its fundamental components, offering insights into how you can re-engineer each step to create a system that works in your favor. This understanding is the foundation upon which lasting change is built. One of the most effective strategies for breaking bad habits is the 2-minute rule. The idea is simple. Commit to performing the new desired behavior for just 2 minutes. This technique minimizes the psychological barrier to starting because the commitment feels almost negligible. Whether you're trying to quit procrastinating, exercise regularly, or replace an unhealthy snack with a healthier alternative, the 2-minute rule acts as a powerful catalyst. When you start an action for only 2 minutes, you often find that momentum carries you beyond that initial commitment. This rule works because it bypasses the overwhelming fear of starting a massive task by breaking it down into a bite-sized, manageable piece. It's like dipping your toe into the water before diving in. In our fast-paced world, our brains are wired to seek immediate gratification and avoid discomfort. By reducing the initial hurdle to just 2 minutes, you trick your brain into accepting the new habit as part of your routine. Over time, these small actions compound, gradually building up into a consistent pattern of behavior that replaces the old unwanted habit. In this segment, we explore real-life examples and research that validate the power of starting small. Remember, every monumental achievement begins with a single tiny step. Embrace the minute rule and watch as your efforts snowball into lasting positive change. Your surroundings play a critical role in shaping your behavior. While willpower and mindset are essential, the environment is the silent force that either supports or sabotages your efforts to break bad habits. If your space is cluttered with triggers, junk food in the pantry, constant notifications on your phone, or even unproductive people, then your old habits are given every opportunity to resurface. The key to lasting change is to design your environment so that it naturally encourages the new desired behaviors. Start by identifying all the external cues that prompt your bad habits. For instance, if you tend to binge watch TV when you're bored, create a designated workspace or a reading nook that inspires you to focus on productive tasks instead. Small modifications like removing distractions and placing reminders of your goals around you can make a significant difference. Your environment should be a reflection of your aspirations. It should signal to your brain that you're a space meant for growth, creativity, and positive action. In this segment, we delve into practical strategies for reorganizing your surroundings. From digital detoxes to physical decluttering, learn how to cultivate an environment that reinforces your commitment to change. By making these adjustments, you set yourself up for success every time you encounter a trigger. This is not just about aesthetics. It's about creating a daily reality that nudges you toward the life you want to live. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to break bad habits is attempting to eliminate a behavior without replacing it with something positive. When you simply remove an unwanted habit, you create a void that your brain instinctively fills with the old behavior or an even worse alternative. The secret to sustainable change is not to focus solely on what you're trying to quit, but on what you can replace it with. For example, if you're trying to quit smoking, rather than just stopping, find a healthier substitute. Perhaps chewing gum, meditating, or even exercising that satisfies a similar need for relaxation and routine. This principle applies to many habits. When you replace negative behaviors with constructive actions, you create new neural pathways that gradually override the old ones. Your brain craves consistency, and by giving it a new routine, you make the process of change much smoother. In this segment, we'll explore how successful people have used replacement strategies to turn their lives around. It's not enough to simply say no to to a bad habit, you must also say yes to a better one. Learn how to identify the gaps left by the old habit and fill them with actions that empower you and contribute to your overall well-being. The journey from old patterns to new ones is about transformation, not deprivation. Changing deeply ingrained habits requires time, patience, and above all, consistency. The 30-day rule is a proven method that involves committing to a new behavior every day for an entire month. Although the first few days may feel challenging, over time, these consistent actions begin to reshape your neural pathways, making the new behavior feel more natural and automatic. Consistency is the bridge between intention and lasting change. Even if you miss a day, don't see it as failure. See it as a reminder to keep pushing forward. This segment dives into the science of habit formation and how a day commitment can set the stage for lifelong change. Research shows that it takes roughly 21 to 66 days to form a new habit. And by focusing on a month-long period, you give yourself a realistic timeline to break the old pattern. During these 30 days, celebrate every small win. Each day you adhere to your new behavior is a victory that reinforces your commitment and builds your confidence. This is not about perfection, it's about gradual, measurable progress. Embrace the process, knowing that every day is a stepping stone toward a better, healthier you. Nothing is more inspiring than real-life examples of individuals who have turned their lives around by breaking bad habits. Consider the story of James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, who transformed his daily routines through small, consistent changes that eventually led to monumental success. Think of someone who overcame lifelong struggle with procrastination by applying the 2-minute rule, radically shifting their identity and redesigning their environment. These stories illustrate that the path to change is not a matter of sudden, heroic willpower, but rather a series of small, deliberate actions that add up over time. In this segment, we share a few powerful narratives to show you that you too can break free from destructive patterns. The message is clear. If others can do it, so can you. Let these transformations serve as both proof and inspiration. Your story is waiting to be written, and every positive change you make is a step toward a brighter future. You don't have to go it alone. Social support is a critical factor in successfully breaking bad habits. Surrounding yourself with people who share your goals or who embody the positive changes you aspire to can make all the difference. Accountability partners, mentors, or supportive communities provide encouragement and constructive feedback that helps you stay on track. When you share your progress and challenges with others, you not only reinforce your own commitment, but also inspire those around you. In this segment, we explore practical ways to build a network that nurtures your growth. Whether it's joining a local group, participating in online forums, or simply confiding in a close friend. These relationships can serve as a powerful catalyst for change. They remind you that you are not alone on this journey, and they help you celebrate successes and navigate setbacks. Leverage the power of community to create an environment where positive habits can flourish and old patterns fade away. Now that you've learned the secrets to breaking bad habits without relying solely on willpower, it's time to take action. This isn't about a quick fix. It's about creating a sustainable lifestyle change that starts with small steps and grows into a powerful force for good. Rewire your identity, redesign your environment, replace the old with the new, and commit to consistency. Every single day offers you a chance to rewrite your story. Reflect on your journey, celebrate your progress, and remember that setbacks are simply opportunities to learn. The power to change your life lies within you. I invite you to take one small step today, choose one habit you want to replace, and apply one of these strategies. Drop a comment below sharing which habit you're tackling and how you plan to start. If this message resonates with you, please like, subscribe, and join our community of people committed to growth and transformation. Your journey to a better life starts now.